Hey guys, my name's Jordan and welcome back to my gaming channel named It's Game Productions, and today I've got something super awesome for you guys. If you haven't read the title and you just clicked on the video blindly, then what I am doing is I am building a gaming computer which will absolutely destroy the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, because what's happened now is we've had a bit of a chance to have a look at the consoles themselves, see what they look like, and there's also been quite a lot of speculation and talk about the actual specs of the computer. And what we know is that both of the consoles are having a 8-core AMD processor. We don't know the clock speed on this processor or anything like that, we just know it's an 8-core processor, although most predictions are sort of predicting that it is quite a low clock speed processor just due to the fact that thermal issues inside the Xbox would be quite bad if it was a really high clock speed processor. And then most estimates are at a 7790 or around the 7790 graphics card, mainly because it was a brand new graphics card and a completely different architecture which AMD just released, and it's also got roughly the same gigaflops. So the gigaflops is a measure of performance as the quoted, well, stated gigaflop performance in the Xbox One. So anyway, this is a quick list I put together. I put it together on eBay. I would really recommend this website. It is where I buy all of my computer parts from and pretty much everything to do with computers from. They have excellent customer service. Their delivery, if you spend over £50, is free, and it's pretty much guaranteed to be there within the week. It is a really good website and I really recommend it. If you're in the US, you could look at places such as Newegg. I'm not too sure on other places in the US. Newegg's pretty much the only computer shop I know of. I think isn't there one called like Micro Center? I think something like that. Just have a look around, see which gives you the best prices. But anyway, we're just going to go straight into this build. Just so you know, you can swap out individual components on this if you do want to make it a little bit faster. If you have any questions, you can be sure to send me a quick message on my Twitter at its_gaming. But anyway, without any further ado, let's get into this quick video. Well, it's going to be, I say it's quick, it's probably not going to be too quick. But anyway, so to start off with, the heart of your computer is the processor, and for that I have chosen the AMD FX 6300 processor. This is a AMD 6-core processor, so it's not quite 8 cores like the PlayStation, but I reckon it's probably going to have a higher clock speed than that, and to be honest, most games really aren't optimized to be using 8 cores. And from what I remember, especially in the Xbox One, the 8-core processor, only 6 cores of it actually being used for games. The other 2 are just being left idle to run the operating system on, so you're going to probably get around the same performance, or probably even better performance on this one, to be honest, just because they're what I think will be the higher clock speeds. But yeah, it's great, 6-core processor. It's really future-proof, and it's also a Black Edition processor, which means you can unlock it, and well, it comes unlocked, sorry, and you can overclock it if you need more power, which is always pretty brilliant. And then going on, the motherboard is an MSI 760GM. This is a socket AM3 motherboard, so you can pretty much get any socket AM3 motherboard. I just chose this one because it's one of the big three. There's Asus, MSI and Gigabyte. They're the main manufacturers you want to be looking at with regards to motherboards, because they just are known for making the highest quality motherboards out there. So yeah, any AM3 socket motherboard would do, but I just chose this one. It's got your PCI Express ×16 slot, which is what you need for your graphics card, and it's got also a PCI Express ×1 slot and a PCI slot should you need to add any other expansion cards in there. But as I said, you can use pretty much any socket AM3 plus motherboard. I would recommend going with the big three, which is Asus, MSI and Gigabyte, as I said before, just because you've got a bit more like certainty that you're going to get a higher quality motherboard out of it in the end. And then going on, I went with 8 gigabytes of Corsair DDR3 1333 megahertz memory. You could choose any memory up to, I think the FX processors support up to 1866 megahertz natively, but I just went with 8 gig of 1333 megahertz memory, just because the speed, like in game, like the speed will like change your load times like marginally, but you're going to be more limited by your hard drive as to what the loading times are going to be. To be honest, you only really need super fast RAM if you're doing things which require huge amounts of things to be stored on your memory, where games, to be honest, they still only really need 4 gigs of RAM, but the extra 4 gigs on top of that with the 8 gig kit just gives you a bit more snappiness and stuff like that, so you can like alt tab out the game and your system's still going to be nice and snappy and fast. So that's why I chose 8 gigs of RAM. With the graphics card, I went with the HIS HD 7850. I don't know if it's HIS, I just say HIS. HD 7850. This is a 1 gig graphics card. If you are playing only on a single 1080p display, which is pretty much what the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are going to be doing, most of the games are going to be running about 1080p 30 frames per second, and then there's going to be a few are going to be running 720p 60 frames per second. That's going to be like Call of Duty and stuff like that, because part of the Call of Duty philosophy is that they keep 60 frames per second on console. But yeah, this is going to be able to run pretty much any modern title at least 30 frames per second at 1080p. Quite a few of them it will probably run at about 60 frames per second. Of course, with Call of Duty coming out on the new engine, I'm not sure how it's going to run that, because it's a completely new engine, so it's pretty difficult to predict how well it's going to run on stuff. But this has got a lot more performance than what is being included in the consoles, and yeah, it's just a really good card. If you wanted a possible upgrade from this, you could go with a 7870 or a 7950, but to be honest, this is more targeted to undercutting the price of the Xbox 360, Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. With the case, I just went with the AVP Triton Mid Tower. Any case will do. Pretty much all PC parts are universal, just because it's a micro ATX motherboard. Just be aware that you can't get a mini ITX case to put this in. You can get micro ATX cases to put it in, but I'd recommend you get something like a mid-tower case, just because it gives you that extra room for airflow and such. So yeah, you can get pretty much any case. I just chose this one because it's got a tool-free design, which is really, I find it really handy. I've got it in my case at the moment. I haven't got the same case as this, but the tool-free design just makes it really, really easy to install hard drives and stuff like that, which obviously is very, very helpful. Now with the power supply, I went and got a Cooler Master Elite Power 500 watt power supply. I would recommend getting a branded power supply. Anything Cooler Master, Amtech, OCZ make good power supplies. Can't remember any more off the top of my head which make really good. I was going to say one then. Oh, I can't remember. But anyway, yeah. Just stick with big brand names. If you're unsure, just go and check it out. See if they, just go and search on the internet and see if they are a high quality power supply. But it's a non-modular power supply. This is just to keep costs down. But it's got 500 watts, which is going to be much more than anyone's going to need for this system. Obviously, if you are upgrading it, you may want to choose a slightly more powerful power supply, but 500 watt is pretty much fine for any single graphics card setup. So yeah, just be aware that you probably wouldn't need an upgrade as long as you're keeping it as a single card setup. Now for the hard drive, I went with a Seagate 1TB Barracuda internal hard drive. This has got plenty of space for your operating system, all your games and all your files and everything on there. I swear by Seagate drives. I've never bought or ever recommended anything except from Seagate drives. They are just what I use and have been using for, I can't even remember how long, and I've never had one fail on me. I think I've got about 6 Seagate drives, Seagate Barracuda drives, which I'm using at the moment, and none of them have ever failed on me. So yeah, I can't recommend Seagate drives enough. I've never ever tried a Western Digital drive, except from in my laptop. That one seems to be holding up fine, but it's a bit more noisy than the bigger hard drives in my computer, so I'm not really sure what's going on about that. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Obviously, if you would rather get a Western Digital drive, you can. It'll be a little bit more expensive, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this build, to be honest. So you may have noticed I didn't include a disk drive. That is because, to be honest, these days you don't really need disk drives anymore. You can pretty much get all your games off Steam and download them, and then you can install Windows 7 from a memory stick. I didn't include Windows 7 in the price of this build, but to give you a sort of ballpark figure, Windows 7 and Windows 8 are priced at around £70, so it wouldn't bring the price up too much. You can get it cheaper from other places, but if you buy it officially from Windows 7 or Windows 8, buy it from Microsoft, sorry, you are looking at around £70 to buy it, so it's not a massive addition onto the cost. In case you were wondering, the total cost for this build is actually £382.60, which according to most rumours and information that we've been given, there was actually a leaked price on the Xavi website saying that it's going to cost £499. Sorry, £399, so it'll take it to £400. Sorry about that, I had a bit of brain fart there. So it's obviously a lot cheaper, well, a lot, £20 cheaper than what the Xbox One would cost. So yeah, but you just get a lot more for your money, you get more power, you're going to be able to run games looking a lot nicer with higher frames per second, and also you can use it for more than just like playing games and watching TV and sort of browsing the internet, because although the Xbox One brings a load of new features to it, you still are able to watch TV without an Xbox. I don't. This may just be me being like a hermit PC gamer. And one thing I actually forgot to mention is you actually get a free accessory, because with AMD graphics cards they do something called the Never Settle bundle, and with that you get a ton. I think you get, with the 7850 which I included in this build, you get a game coupon for Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider that is, and Bioshock Infinite. So you get 2 AAA titles, which if you're buying them on console, that's probably what, £40 a game, so £80 worth of games for free. I think on PC they come to about £60 worth of games for free. So that's always awesome to get free games. So as soon as you build it, you'll be able to play those games. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this build. So anyway guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment, and let me know if you want me to do more of these sort of PC build guides. So I was sort of thinking maybe I could do ones for different price ranges or something like that. But anyway, this is my build which will destroy an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4. So anyway guys, thank you for watching. Probably going to be going on for too long here. This is like 11 minutes, 12 minutes even. So anyway guys, thank you for watching and goodbye.